if I seem tired today, it's because we had to wake up in the middle of the night and go to the emergency vet. So last November, my girlfriend's dog died, and then 2 weeks later, our cat Bean died. Now, Bean seemed kind of sick, but we waited to take him to the vet and really regret it because he died. And we were trying to get him to an emergency vet, but we were just too late. And honestly, it was pretty traumatic. We both probably still have a lot of trauma from those 2 weeks because I mean, Toby died 2 weeks later, Bean dies, and it was just an awful, awful time. So that brings me to Angel, my cat. I've had Angel since she was like 1 year old. She's like 16 or 17 now, and she has some sort of vestibular disease thing where she like lost her balance, right? And in June, it came for like a day, and then it left, and she was fine. But we took her to the vet anyway, and they're like, well, you got lucky, it went away. I wouldn't worry about it. So cool. Then we fast forward to this past month, and it comes back. And it didn't go away this time. So we took her in, and they're like, well, she's probably got an ear infection. We'll clean that up and give her some steroids. So that should help. Cool. Come home. A couple days pass. She does seem better. Her balance is better. Great. But I noticed she starts sneezing, right? And I think in the 16 years I've had Angel, I don't know if I've ever heard her sneeze. But she sneezed like 3 times in a day. And I was like, something's wrong, right? She's definitely sick. Something is up. But let's see, she's just sneezing. It could be anything, let's see what happens. Next day, a little bit worse, right? And I'm like, okay, she's probably definitely sick. So I go ahead and schedule her an appointment, right? Or maybe I waited one more day because maybe it didn't get bad until the day after. But anyway, after that, schedule her appointment, bring us to yesterday. Yesterday, I'm sitting here, I'm making some thumbnails, getting the last few videos uploaded for the day, and Carter comes in and she's like, I think we may need to take Angel to the vet right now. Well, obviously, that's really scary. That's really fucking scary. So I was really stressed out in that moment. And we go and I look at her, right? And she seems not good. Like, she's very clearly sick. But it doesn't seem like she's so sick she needs to go to the hospital right now, right? She doesn't seem like she's that bad. She seems like how she was the other day. She's a little lethargic, but she's also old and she's sniffling and sneezing, but she seems fine. And when I look it up, it's like she's probably got an upper respiratory infection. If she doesn't have these signs, don't worry about it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, because if you don't have pets and you don't know this, the emergency vet is really expensive, like double or triple the price of a normal vet. And we're poor. We can't afford to go to an emergency vet just on a whim, right? Like it needs to be serious. And it also, we could throw it on a credit card, but like that's just more debt that we're racking up. So I didn't want to go because also I didn't think she needed to go, right? And just to make sure, we called the vet we might take her to if we needed to. And we're like, hey, blah, 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 blah. These are the symptoms she's presenting with. What do you think? And they're like, she should probably be fine until tomorrow, until her appointment. Because her appointment is at 10:15 in the morning, which is not that far away. It's like 10 hours or something like that at this time. Excuse me. So I'm like, we don't need to take her. Let's just go to bed. If something happens in the middle of the night, we'll take her and we'll go from there. And so I'm laying there and she sleeps right beside my head every single night, in between my girlfriend and I, like right in the middle between us. And she like gets up and she's sneezing, and one of the things that the vet told us to look out for is abdominal breathing, and that's where you can kind of see like their abdomen right near their hind legs kind of like squash in really high, like because they're struggling to breathe. And that's actually like the thing that was wrong with Bean. So that was, I guess, I don't know a better word for it other than triggering to think about that. I had that thing was on top of my mind at that time. And also with Carter, I probably wouldn't even have thought about any of this if Carter didn't come and say she needed to go right now. I think she was probably fine. But wake up at 2 a.m. because she's sneezing, and she's right next to me sneezing and being gross. And I'm like watching her, and I have a serious history with anxiety. I think my anxiety is pretty good now. I very rarely get super anxious about stuff, I think. But I think with just all of the past trauma, with Bean, with Toby, and with the deep regret we have about not taking Bean sooner, I just started to freak out pretty bad. I had a pretty bad panic attack. Like I was definitely having a panic attack. And excuse me, I just ate. But I'm looking at her. She just doesn't seem good, right? It seems like she's gotten a little bit worse, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. So I'm like shining my light because I'm trying not to wake Carter up unless I think I have to. And I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out and I don't know what to do. And eventually, like, I'm like, we should just take her, right? We should just take her because I don't want the same thing to happen to her that happened to Bean. And I wake Carter up and I'm like, hey, we should go take her right now. She's like, what do you mean? She looks like she did earlier. And I don't know if she did or not. She probably did. I think I really did just psych myself out. I just freaked myself out really bad. Because, I mean, we'll jump ahead in the story a little bit. We did take her and they didn't seem all that worried about it. But anyway, so we take her and we're debating back and forth between the two of us. Like, should we take her? We don't know. We're like, it's going to be a lot of money. We don't know, blah, blah, blah. We go back and forth. And eventually we're just like, let's just take her right now, at the very least, for the peace of mind, and then we can have no regrets about the situation, right? If something were to go wrong, we would probably regret it for the rest of our lives, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. So we get dressed at like, I think I woke up at 2, watched her for like an hour or two, woke Carter up, and we debated for a little bit, then we took her around 4, and we drove for like 20 minutes to the 24-hour vet, took her in, and I'm holding her, you know, she's like feeling pretty weak and sneezing all over me and being really gross, and they ask us a ton of questions about it, about her history and stuff, and then eventually take us into the room, and they're just like, hey, she's probably got an upper respiratory infection, and here's what you need to do to, you know, here's some medicine, blah, blah, blah. They want to do x-rays too, but the x-rays were like $500 or something, like $300, which would have brought the total up to $500, and we just did not have the money to do the x-rays. They were like, take the medicine home. If it doesn't clear up, then go have the x-rays done. You can probably have them done somewhere else for cheaper, but that's, you know, that'll work for now. So we do all that, and it turns out she's fine. She probably really didn't need to go. Then I probably just panicked myself into it, and also panicked. Carter and I panicked each other. We bounced off of each other with our panic and the trauma of the past month and how horrible all of that was, and just convinced ourselves we had to go then. But I don't regret going. I do feel a little silly, a little stupid about it, because I don't think it was really any more expensive than it would have been to take her to the normal vet. So it's not really a big deal. I don't know. I just feel a little silly that I got upset about it like that, or I don't know. I just felt kind of dumb, you know, because she really probably didn't need to go. They didn't seem worried at all about her. They were like, here, take the medicine. You don't even have to give it to her tonight. You can just wait till the next time she eats or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, I guess we really didn't need to do all this. And so we got home at like 6:30, 6 or 7. And then we had to wait until 7 because we made a vet appointment, right, yesterday. So the vet appointment was in like 3 hours. Then we called them, but they never answered the phone, so they didn't answer. So we stayed up a little bit longer to try and, you know, cancel the appointment and be courteous, but they didn't even answer, so it was whatever. And then we slept from like 8 until 11:30, and now I'm here at 3:25 starting work, and Carter has a bunch of family stuff she has to go do. So I may be editing videos, which I never do. At least it's just like chopping off the ends and the beginnings. But yeah, that's my story. It was rough, man. I feel like I haven't been that panicked in a long time. Even with Toby and Bean, I don't think there was the same sense of panic. I think with Toby, it was very clear that he probably wasn't going to live much longer, right? He had a swelling in his abdomen. He was old. They were like, he's probably got cancer. Like, it's, we can't afford $4,000 in operations on cancer or whatever he might have had. And additionally, who wants to put a 13, 14-year-old dog through that? Nobody. And then with Bean, I think we just didn't really understand what was going on or how severe it was. We were really afraid of the money. We were even more broke than we are right now back then. It was a horrible, horrible situation. And yeah, I don't even remember where I was going with that. Yeah, there you go. A little trauma dump, I suppose. But now we're here. She's okay. Hopefully none of the other cats get the upper respiratory infection. We still have 2 cats, Tommy and Torby, who are Bean's siblings. And hopefully they don't all pass the infection around to each other. But, hopefully that doesn't happen. But if it does, we know what's wrong. We can just get them the same medicine and take care of it. And Angel still has to go back in 2 weeks to get more stuff for her ears to clear up her ear infection. That was hopefully the thing causing her to stumble around and lose her balance. Her balance is better, and she seems a little better today, even though we've just now given her the medicine. She seems pretty okay. So all in all, out $200, out a night's sleep, but I know my cat's okay, and that is what's important, right? So gotta go record the rest of the stuff today, but thanks for listening to my little trauma dump, guys, and yep, peace. Also, actually, thanks for the support on the newest stuff. There's been some wins, the channel's starting to pick up a little momentum. Maybe this will be a really long one. I had a good story to tell, I feel like, but yeah, maybe things are starting to pick up a little bit. Some of the shorts have gotten some views, I'm happy about that. The Clash tier list video has done really well. The Dress to Impress videos are not doing well at all. I think they're okay content wise. They're not spectacular or anything, but I think they're okay, but it just seems like nobody's really watching them. They've hardly gotten any impressions either. So, I don't know. I feel like the thing I'm doing probably doesn't mesh as well as I thought it would with the existing Dress to Impress audience, but I feel like maybe somebody who plays Clash would think it would be funny to watch me play Dress to Impress and try hard at it, because it's just kind of goofy to see somebody like me, I feel like, try really hard and Dress to Impress, but maybe not. So I don't know. We're going to try some Clash today, and see what happens. I think I'm going to play at least one Clash video and we'll see how that goes. And I'm not really sure about the rest of the content, right? So I think it was yesterday, I had a ton, just an unreasonable amount of self-doubt, or maybe it was the day before yesterday I had a lot of self-doubt, but I do feel better today. I felt better yesterday. I think that we're doing the right thing. I think I'm still not executing at the level I would like to. There's still a big gap in the performance that I'm able to give and what I would like it to be and stuff like that, but I do think a lot of progress has been made. And I think I'm moving in the right direction. So I'm happy about that. Thanks for all the nice comments everybody's left. I love you guys. Appreciate it. All the tips too that people give. It's been awesome so far. So we'll keep it pushing.